So welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to understand some basic for loop questions and that we learned in the past videos about the for loops. So we are going to explain the questions using the for loops. So basically without trying the questions you are not going to practice the for loop because to practice that you need questions. So for example my first question is like I have to print first 10 natural numbers. So this is like comment symbol has. So I have to print the first 10 natural numbers using for loop. So I will extend this using while loop too. Okay, while loop. So I have to print the first 10 natural number using for loop as well as while loop. Natural numbers are basically the numbers which start from 1 and that ends to infinite, and the whole numbers are basically the natural number including 0. So using the for loop, so don't look there. So using the for loop, like we can have the numbers in the order like 1 to 10. Okay, so for that you have to print like you have to use the syntax for loop for I, that is the loop counter basically. So for I in range function like that, and we have to start from so we have to print the natural number, so we have to start the range from 1, and we have to print first 10 natural numbers. So for first 10 natural numbers we have to give the second parameter as 11 because we want to include the 10 also. Okay, and in range function the second parameter is not included. Okay, now we have to put the semicolon, and now we can print the value of the variable, that is the loop counter. Okay, so print I, and we can put another parameter inside the print function, that is n equal to this, so that I can get in a straight line or in a single line. So that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, using while loop I can also print the same thing using while loop. So first of all, while loop is like, first of all we have to initialize the loop counter variable, that is I equal to 1. So we have to start the loop from 1, and while the condition is that I must be greater than, or sorry, I must be less than or equal to 10. So I is less than 11, so feasible, and now I have to print the value of I, that is the loop counter, and the same thing and equal to this. Okay, oh sorry, this is an infinite loop. We came here because I because there is no updation in the value of I. Okay, so this is infinite loop, as you can see. So this is very uh, common error that sorry, this is very common thing that we get if we don't update the value of I. We have to fix the value of I as well as we have to update the value of I. So for that we have to use I plus equal to 1. So I am incrementing the value of I. Okay, now I have to terminate this, interrupt this kernel, and now if I run this again, so I will get the value from 1 2 3 4 5 6. So our loop may go in infinite loop if we don't terminate it properly. So termination of loop is very important in case of any programming language, not in Python. In any programming language you have to terminate the loops properly. Okay, now, second question is like, I have to loop through 1 to 10. When it reaches 5, I have to print halfway there. Okay, so that is like, uh, that is like, okay, so I have to loop from 1 to 10. So my function, so my for loop will be like this for I in range. So I is basically loop counter, and we have to start from 1 and we have to end with 11. Now, the condition is here that when my loop reaches to 5, or when my counter variable uh, reaches 5, it has to print halfway there. So if I equal to 5, I'm using equal to operator, comparison operator. If that equal to 5, I have to simply print halfway there. Okay, like this. So I have to print this, otherwise I can else I can use pass statement. Pass means nothing, or you can simply put there if only. So that is like if I terminate I equal to 5, there is halfway there. Or I can print the other values. So print like I. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. At 5 there is halfway there, and at 6, 7, 8. So let me first make. So for that I have to make the cell. Okay, for third, similarly for fourth, for 5. So there are almost 11 questions, and we have to deal with all questions. 8, 9. So this is Jupyter lab where you can run your Python code, a small code, and basically we will deal with this when we are when we are learning machine learning, when we are basically doing machine learning stuff. Okay, so now question number 4. Okay, so this is halfway there using the for loop. Similarly, we can have like while loop. So like initially I equal to 1. Okay, while while I is greater than I is less than 11. Okay, now if a statement, if I equal to 5, I have to print halfway there like this. Else I can leave that, or simply else print I comma and equal to like this. So I can use and here to and equal to like this. Oh sorry, again the same thing. Updation is not there, so I have to first update the value. So for while so for y I plus equal to 1. Okay, so that's so interrupt the corner, and then if I run again that like this 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is half there at position of 5, and there is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now display. Now the third question is like we have to display negative numbers like from -10 to -1. So the same thing is there. We have to take range from -10 to 1. So for that we have for I in range like this, and there is like -10 comma -1. So up to -1 you have to print the -1 too. So for that you can take here 0, and you have to print like this. So print I simply comma, and that will print like a straight. Okay, so that is like -10, -8, -7, -5, -4. That's all. Now, display a message done after successful execution of a for loop. So suppose there is a for loop for I in range 1 to 5, and I'm printing something like this. Print high. So it will print high 5 times. Okay, and equal to like this. It will print 5 times high 5 times. Then after this, after printing this 5 times, okay, I can have print like done. Okay, so this done statement will represent that the loop is executed successfully. Okay, so this is like high, 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 and done. That's so this is 4 times high, and done is after the execution of loop by 4 times. Okay, because 5 is there. Similarly, write a Python program that prints all the numbers from 0 to 6. So I have to print all the numbers that are from 0 to 6 except the two numbers. Okay, so for that we can use if statements. Okay, using the AND comparison operator or logical operator. Okay, oh sorry, logical operator. So like for that we have for like we can take another loop counter like num. So for num in range, so basically range is from 0 to 6. So that is like 0 to 7, because we have to include 6 also. Now if num equal to 3, and so it's saying that we have to consider the 6 also. If num equal to 3 and num equal to 6, we have to do nothing. We have to just use the pass statement. Else I have to print everything. So print num. Okay, or you can use break statement also. Or you can use continuous statement also. So instead of pass you can use continuous statement. So continuous statement is like this is used to continue the statement except the condition that is in the if block. Okay, so that is continue. Okay, now this, so continuous statement will leave the if condition part out only. So that is, oh sorry, that is continue. So if num equal to 3 and num equal to 6, I have to print all the things. But there is like continue is not doing as much. Okay, so sorry. uh, so I have to break that continue. So I don't know why it's not giving me the same. If num equal to 3 and num equal to 6, I have to use continuous statement, and that's sorry. If both conditions or I have to use the or operator because I'm checking the one at a time. So therefore that we have to consider the or operator or logical operator. That is, if num equal to 3, then the continue will be there. If num equal to 6, then the continue will be there. Okay, so for that, similarly we have another question, that is write a Python program to create the multiplication table from 1 to 10 of a number. So for that for that we can have a number like this, and we have to enter the number for printing its table. Now, f is like you entered something number. I have to use the print statement to enter the number. Okay. Next is like table of number is basically, that's the print statement, that is the table of number. Now for I in range, that is from number is basically like 2 to 10. Okay, so 2 1 j 2 and 2 10 j 20 like this. So we have to use the for loop, and that is from 1 to 10, that is from 1 to 11, not including the 11th, and I can do something like this. Next is so I have to create a Python program to print all the numbers of a list which are which are greater than a certain number. So for that I can create a list. So numbers in list is like int input enter number of elements to be in list. Suppose I enter suppose I enter 4. So there are 4 number, or suppose I enter 5. So there are 5 numbers in a list. Okay, so there are 5 numbers in a list. Now we created an empty list. There is something called empty list. Empty list is like list holding null values. Okay, now I am looping through the list. Okay, so from I equal to 0, sorry, I am looping through the numbers in the list, that is from 0 to 5. Okay, so this loop will run for 5 times. Now number is equal to, I am taking input from the number, that is I am entering the first element by the user through the user. Now then that number will be appended using the dot append method in the list. Okay, so list 1 will got appended. So in the first loop run, list 1 will have 1 value. In the second loop run, there will be 2 values in the list. In the third, there will be 3 values, and in the fourth, and at the last, there will be 5 values. So list will be completed. So there will be list after the execution of the for loop. Now there is like we have to take constants. Constant is like enter any number for which you have to print all the numbers greater than the number. So like constant, so suppose there are 5 numbers and we have entered a constant like number greater than 2. So I have to print the numbers which are greater than 2. So like 3 4 5. So for that we have to print that, and for again we will loop through the list. Okay, now if we now we check the each element of the list through the constant. If that element is greater than constant, then I have to print that, otherwise I can use the pass statements. So if I run this, so enter a number of elements in a list. Suppose there are 10 elements in your list, like first element is 2, second element is 3, third element is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 23, like 42, 3. Okay, so number greater than 43 in list 1 is like I have entered the enter any other numbers, that is constant in my 43. So there are no number that are greater than 43. Okay, so that's what we get. like 5 numbers. So 1 2 3 4, oh sorry, 44 and like 5, like 6. Okay, enter any other number that is constant value. So suppose there are numbers that I want to print must be greater than 2, so that are 3 44 and 6. Next problem is like write a Python program to find those numbers which are divisible by 7 and multiple of 5. So that this is very simple program. I have to just use the for loop that are in range, that is in range 1500 and 2701, including the 27, that is 2701. Now I have to use the modulo operator to check the both numbers are, and now I am using AND because I have to consider the number which is divisible by 7 as well as 5. Now we can print the number. Write a Python program to guess a number between 1 to 9 and user is prompted. Okay, so there is like guessing problem. So I have to first guess a number, and also I have some random number, and if random number is equal to guess number, then I have to return a string value that is well guessed. Otherwise I have to ask the user again to enter the guess. Okay, so for creating random number or getting random number, you have to import a library called random module or something random. So to print that, you have to use the randint method. Okay, so get the random number, you have to print the randint number, and the range you have to provide the range. So for here I am providing the range like 1 to 10 because I have to print, my question is like I have to print, guess a number between 1 to 9, so the number must be 1 to 9, inside 1 to 9. So original number is like this. So I have initialize the original number with the random number that I get using the randint method. Now I am considering another variable where that is num equal to 0 for carrying out the while loop. Okay, so for carrying out the while loop, I have initialized the value now. Now my condition is that unless and until num is greater than 0 or num is less than 0, I have to loop that again and again. Means num must be equal to 0. Okay, now first of all I am checking, if I am first of all I am taking the input from the user to guess any number. Now user guessed any number. Now I am checking using the if statement, if the guessed number is equal to the original number. If it is good, if it is matching, or if it is correct, then I have to print well guessed. Otherwise and I have to break the loop also. So I am using here break statement. Break and continuous statements are very important while decision checking decision taking checking questions. Okay. Otherwise I have to print guess again, that is an else part, and I'm initializing and updating the value of num as 0 again, so that it will loop again, so that again user will get a message at the prompt like enter the number. Again it will check the if condition. If is right, then the loop will be terminated. Okay, so suppose like I have to guess any number from 1 to 9, that is like 5. So guess again because I am wrong. 6, guess again. 7, I am wrong. 1, I am wrong. 2, I am wrong. 3, I am wrong. Again there is like 8. 8 again guess is wrong. 9 is again guess is wrong, so that's is like 4. So I'm getting that after executing all the numbers. So actually the number was 4 that I guessed, and I guessed that in the last. Okay, next is write a Python program that accepts an integer n. So I have to just write a program for that is accepting an integer n. So like I'm typecasting this string value that I'm getting like enter any number, and now I have to just you just evaluate this formula, and we have to just compute this formula, that is n into plus n into n into n. So I can use any other number like 2. So that is 2 into 2, that is 4. 4 plus 2, that is 6. 6 plus 8, that is 14. Okay, now there is like given the output without compiling it. I have to check what will be the output. Okay, so give the output without compiling it. So we can run that also. So for I in range 1 to 10. So basically my loop will execute 10 times. Oh sorry, 9 times. Okay, now I have to check if I modulo 5 equal to 0, means if I is, that is loop counter is divisible, is completely divisible by 5. If that is true, then I have to print the value of I, else I have to print the incremented value of I. I'm printing, not incrementing the value. Okay, so that is like 2 3 4, then 5 5, then 7 8 9 10. So that what I get. So thank you for joining. We will discuss more problems on while loop in the next session. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channel to get any updates. Please subscribe and email me. Okay, thank you for joining. See you soon.